mud. When the rain is pouring down, you can't hold back the flood. Stampede's rolling, stampede's rolling, stampede's rolling, stampede's rolling.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Rock and Horror Popcast Show, episode 2, the one with the Deblias sisters. I'm your host, Rob, here in Hope Patcong, New Jersey, out of Studio 217, and I am welcoming into the studio tonight from afar, and I believe in New Hampshire, right?
Yes.
Okay, wow, yeah, that's really far. And one of my favorite places in the world, Ashley and Makalya from Deblias Sisters Productions. Hello, ladies.
Hi, thanks for having us.
You are very welcome. I've been trying to get you on for a while now. The challenges with the pandemic and, dropping the other podcast and all this other stuff. But here we are tonight. You are two up and coming filmmakers. You're in a very narrow space because you really don't hear a lot about Scream Queen makers, filmmakers. It's more about the Scream Queens themselves, and women in horror is a small genre that seems to be getting bigger, which is great, because women do everything better than men. Let's be honest. I wasn't paid to say that by my girlfriend or anybody else, but yeah, Ashley and Makalya, they've done a lot of great work that I've watched. It's out there on their YouTube channel, and we're just here tonight to meet them, to hear what they've done, what they're doing. So I'm going to start with both of you. Where did the love of horror come from? Anybody take it away first?
I guess that's more on me because you don't even like horror.
Don't say that.
I'm okay. How about this? I'm too scared of it.
Okay, that's
There
fair. That's fair.
See, me, I don't know where it started. I think when I was younger, I always liked reading like scary stories, scary books, the things with like the ghost and like paranormal themes. I like the creepier shows like Courage the Cowardly Dog. That was very formative in my younger years. So I've just always kind of like had a little affinity for all of this. I've always thought this kind of thing was really interesting. I honestly haven't seen too many horror movies. I've seen probably a small selection of the vast ocean that there is out there.
Sure.
Just because I haven't seen a lot of movies in general either, which is, I know, bizarre considering we try to make films.
Yeah, considering what you do, it's very odd that
Yeah. I
that
have a
you're
lot
not-
on my watch list that I just need to get to.
Like for me, it started off with Nightmare on Elm Street and the Friday the 13th, obviously. That's actually where Ashley, Makalya, myself, and Makalya's mom, right?
Yes.
Was that your mom?
Yes.
We all met at Camp Blood and basically got chased around the woods all night by a fake serial killer. And got to learn a lot about them then. But you guys didn't show any fear out there really at all. So yeah, I get.
That was so fun. I want to do it again so bad. I love the
wasn't
immersive things.
Yes, the immersive horror is fantastic. So you didn't really get into horror, but yet here you are making, horror movies that seem to dwell more on period piece. It seems like there's a lot of, especially with Mary Alice Chapter 1. How long ago was that made by you guys?
A year
The
ago?
concept started a few years ago, and then it's changed a lot over time, plot-wise and like development-wise. But the actual filming of Mary Alice Chapter 1, the short, was last year, our senior
Yes.
year in college.
It's like its anniversary because
Yeah,
we
just about.
we graduated around this time. So yeah, probably
So-
about a year ago.
You graduated in 2020 or 2019?
2020.
I thought it was 2019. My God. See, I lost that whole entire year. It's almost like I was saying this last night. It's like the Mandela effect,
Mhm.
where you think things happened in 2020 that didn't really happen. They really happened the year before. And it was like, oh, see, I thought because I was pushing your film during, your capstone project in your senior year of college. I was spreading the word about that, and that just seems, well, that had to have been 2019
Yes.
during your senior year. So then,
Yeah, the creation of it was.
Right.
So you're not wrong.
Right.
Okay. So see, I'm not that old. My brain isn't that shot yet.
The production of it started 2019, but it was released 2020.
Yes.
Okay. So how do you get from not liking horror the way that I assume most people that I talk to like love the genre itself? How do you get from that to making a film that has to do with something like Mary Alice? Because first of all, the doll scares the hell out of me. I have a problem with dolls ever since I was a kid. I don't watch The Conjuring. I've never watched The Conjuring because of that. So yeah,
I think The Conjuring was my first horror movie.
Mine was
The
Chucky.
first I remember. Oh, I remember
see,
that.
it's all dolls. It goes back to damn dolls.
Yes, it always does.
Yeah, I lived with that in my room for 23 years because that was, I don't know
Oh
if
my
it's
God.
been said around here in your realm of the woods, the origin of that doll, but that is an actual doll that my grandmother made me when I was a toddler. So it actually, like, she sewed it and created it and printed my face on fabric. And so, yeah, we just had that doll and we're like, this is really creepy. Let's make something with it.
Thanks, Grandma.
Yeah. So that's kind of how it like very, very first started.
But to answer your question, going from, I guess, hating to loving it. So I guess there's always an interest in what you're scared of, right?
Sure.
And because of horror, it's more like I have a really active imagination, right? So even if I watch the news, I'd go to bed and just have nightmares. So when it came to not liking it, I just did not like going to bed and feeling like that. Scared. I didn't like it. So
That's right.
I try to avoid watching anything. My mom's like, can we go see this? And I'll go, no, I'm not going. I'm not doing it. You can't make me.
Yeah, I'm kind of opposite. I can watch a horror movie right before bed and go to sleep.
But if you put it on, I'll end up
That's me.
watching it really like interested, and I go, oh no, what did I just do? So yeah, because I also, even my senior year, I wrote a research paper on women in horror and the way they're treated on screen.
Yep.
And I wrote a paper about that. So I guess there's this always like, whatever you're scared of, you tend to like be more interested in, I feel, and you tend to like explore it, whether subconsciously or it's just. So
Well,
just
and there seems to be a lot of changing of the genre in my eyes. I just went through. I got the Shout Factory's Friday the 13th DVD or Blu-ray set DVD. No one watches DVDs anymore. And so I got that, and I was going through it, and Gina and I are sitting there and we're watching these movies, and it's like every other scene is somebody's boobs. It's sex. It's very, very, what's the word? Chauvinist towards women. And you girls know that I have 3 daughters myself, and they grew up watching a lot of horror movies simply because of Dad. And now we seem to be in this realm after the Paranormal Activity started coming out. Even the screams weren't really dealing with a lot of TNA, so to speak. But like when you go to a Friday the 13th movie, that's what you expect to see. But you're right, Michaela, about how women are treated in the industry, period. And I've heard interviews from especially Friday the 13th actresses through the years where a lot of them had very big problems with the way that they were treated. So it's refreshing to see certain changes being made. The whole Me Too movement, that was a big change. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how things move forward. And I think we're opening up a space, number one, with directors and writers of color. Get Out is a great example of really I don't want to say the origins or the beginnings, but that's really when it came out to be, in my eyes. And now, again, we're seeing another marginalized community, which is women, be pushed to the forefront in so many different genres. But horror is great to see that, because I've seen women in cinema through the years as directors, as producers, things like that, but they were always, I couldn't tell you names. And that was a big thing. Like, I know who Steven Spielberg is, but then you think of somebody else and you're like, I don't know who that is at all. So putting your name out there and getting a name in an industry that is predominantly run by men, that's a big thing. So I applaud you for that, and I will keep pushing right behind you. I'll be that force wind or whatever you want to call it, pushing you forward to get to where you want to be, which is hopefully on the Academy Award stage one day, accepting the first Best Picture Oscar ever given to a true horror movie, because Silence of the Lambs doesn't count. It does not count. It's not a horror movie. It's a true crime movie. So take me to the formation of your friendship. You're starting to write together, or not even write together, but make movies together. Take me there.
So we didn't meet until senior year in high school. So I was very wary of Ashley when I first met her, because I was actually friends with her cousin first.
Okay.
We actually have attended parties together. There's pictures of us together, but we didn't know each other. My brothers even knew Ashley beforehand, before I did. So I guess she was around. I didn't know.
Yeah, we were in the same circle. Our sides just didn't come together for a while.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. So it started because we had a math class together. So that's definitely how we got closer. And then when I was applying to college, I was trying to make a film to submit. And the first film I submitted was like Stay Alive, Stay Aware. And it was zombies. And that's when I first started working with Ashley. She was a zombie for me. And then we wanted to write a book, and we were the only ones really pushing for it, because we wanted everyone to create a character, and we wanted to pass each chapter around to everybody at the table and see what would happen to the story, and you just continue from chapter to chapter. And then our group chats weren't responding, so then me and Ashley went off separately, and then that's how that kind of, I guess, snowballed.
Yeah. I mean, being the only two really interested in the project, you're gonna work on it together.
Yeah, that's normally how that seems to happen. I had a writing partner, if you want to call him that, back in high school, and that's kind of what we did. We had a story that we were telling that I would finish a chapter, give it to him, then I'd get it back, and I actually still have that. It's funny. It was actually sent to me. I got a package in the mail the one day, and it was from another mutual friend from years ago, and he's like, "Look what I just found." And I opened it up and I'm like, oh my God. And what's funny is there were certain girls' names that we had, crushes on. We were freshmen in high school, sophomores maybe. And like I shared it with them because I'm friends with them now. And I'm like, here, look at this. This is kind of just funny as hell, But yeah, that was a thing that we had started with other people as well, but it really ended up just being Jeremy and I. And he's another one that kind of vanished into the wind over the years. But you guys seem like you have a pretty solid bond with what you do together. And that's obviously very, very important, because I think you both know what direction you want to go in. I think you both know where you want to be, and it's the matter of getting there, and that's the hardest part.
Definitely.
So your YouTube channel seems to be your primary push to getting out to people. There'll be a link in the comment section below, and so people can get there and see what's going on. It opens up with the "We're back," and it was funny because when I loaded the page up, I wasn't ready to hear somebody talking, and it just started automatically playing, and I was like, kind of startled me for a second there.
Too.
And there's a ginormous dog there. So and so I'm looking at the screenshot right now, which is paused at a place where you guys are making very weird faces, but it seems like it's right there, which is your office, correct? Is that where you both work out of? So you both live in the same town?
Yeah, we live about like 8 minutes down the road from each other.
Oh wow. Okay. So now let's go to Ashley to talk about costuming, because this is that where your in all of this, besides acting, because you seem to be in most of the dangerous situations when the camera goes on,
Yeah.
costuming seems to be your thing. The thing that really popped in my head when Mary Alice was, the trailers were coming out and I was seeing little behind the scenes type things. The costuming was really, really cool. The period piece stuff was very, very, very neat. So yeah, talk to me about costuming.
I honestly don't know too much about costuming. My mom taught me how to sew and use the sewing machine when I was younger. I fell out of it for a little bit, didn't do much with it. And then recently I started getting back into it with making costumes because, well, first with Mary Alice, when we decided it was going to be a period piece, and finding a specific outfit that would fit and work with what we wanted would be very expensive to try to find custom made. So we were like, we'll just make it ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So basically we found a pattern and adapted it and customized it to make the Mary Alice costumes that are in there. And I think that's the first actual like clothing piece that I've made. My mom did help a lot with that. I know the torn up dress, I started with making that one because I was like, okay, if I mess up on this, it's okay because it's going to get distressed anyways.
Right.
And my mom mainly like took the reins and actually was like, you're doing very badly. Step aside and let me help with the middle one, just because she probably cared about it like coming out well. So she did help a lot. But so it was like a team effort with me and her. I made mainly the children's dress, and actually the first skirt of the children's dress, my mom was like, you can keep that if you want, but I'm going to make you a new one because this one's a little funky. So, and yeah, we've just had like an interest in costume making. In college, we actually took a fabric design class together where we basically learn about different like fabrics and materials, how to manipulate it and work with it, and like kind of like an intro to costume making.
Sure.
And it was just super fun to us. I wanted to make more costumes, so we decided, just as something that we wanted to do because we thought it might be interesting for other people to view the process of, and also just because we wanted to make some more costumes, we decided we were going to start like a new little series of trying to create some on our own. So one of the ones, well, the one that I'm going to be creating is a specific outfit from the show Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Mm-hmm.
It was on Nickelodeon. It's kind of like making a comeback right now. But there's a character, Katara, in the third season. She wears this outfit called the Painted Lady, is the kind of persona she takes on. So I'm going to be trying to recreate that. And so far, I'm still in the beginning stages of like going through figuring out like how to actually make the pattern pieces themselves, because I'm probably going to be doing it from scratch, or at least attempting to. So it's really just practicing and just trying something out.
And I think costuming is very important, especially in just not even in horror, just in movies in general.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, if it's just a normal everyday thing, you can have people in t-shirts and jeans and whatnot. But we watched, and I had never seen it. We're on our way through the Marvel comic universe, and so we're up to Black Panther. And I got to see Black Panther for the first time. I'm going to be honest, I had no interest in it before Marvel Comics Universe. It just didn't look like it would interest me at all. Because I was more of like just an Incredible Hulk, Spider-Man, Superman. I know Superman is not Marvel, DC, I get it. But those were the superheroes that I grew up with. So even though Black Panther came out in 1966, comic book wise, I'd never heard of him. Again, had no interest in everything else. But when I started watching, I was amazed. And the thing that really grabbed me was costuming. The costumes and the set pieces in that movie, the costuming especially, were just stupid gorgeous. The men, the women, everything else. And I could see why they won Oscars for what they did, because those costumes really sucked you into the story as well. So again, costuming is very, very important, especially when you're doing something like Mary Alice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, her dress originally as the doll, that was her original dress.
Yeah, that was the one that she was in.
Oh my
That's
God,
what my
that doll
grandma
would've-
made.
That doll would have scared the shit out of me.
It sings too.
Does it really?
Yeah, it has a
Yeah.
little music crank in her back that plays, I think it's a spoonful of sugar.
But it's so distorted now. It doesn't sound
Oh,
like
no,
that.
it doesn't.
It does. If I had it right now, I'd play it for you.
Yeah, you can't even tell what it is sometimes.
And it's super slow. And because she's so old, sometimes we just accidentally call the doll she.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of habit for us. So
Right.
that probably sounds really weird. But
She's an entity. She's her own.
yeah, it kind of just like slowly dies out, and sometimes it still has like a little bit of wind left. So you'll like leave her alone in a corner for like 5 minutes, and she'll just randomly start playing a few notes again.
I see. I had a music box that actually did that when I was a kid. So it's a chime. It's like the chimes, right? It's like the ding,
I
ding, ding,
think
ding.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I don't know what
It's
the
not like
mechanism
somebody
inside
singing
is.
and going.
No,
"Yes,
it's just the
oof."
melody.
Good.
That would be really creepy.
God.
I don't think I would have left her in our dorm room if that was the case.
No. So did she go to college with you?
Yes.
Oh my
She
God.
was there because we did a lot of filming with her. We did some
Sure.
like shorts, and like obviously because we were trying to get the film like planned
I
out.
carted her around a lot. She came to a lot of my classes.
You're
Yeah.
going to have to, when you go home, you're going to have to just film her doing Spoonful of Sugar.
Sure.
People that know me know that I love Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins is like everything. It's the world to me. I just love everything about Mary Poppins. So I really, really need to see a creepy doll playing Spoonful of Sugar. It just has to happen. So
I will record that when I go home.
yes, and I will add it somewhere in here. It might even be the opening before anything else happens. So whoa, I'm getting chills already.
Yeah, our
But yeah.
crew hated it. Our DP, Ryan, was like, I hate her. And then we'd play her and he'd be like,
There's
not wanna
something
touch her.
very, very like, I don't know. It's just it's that word visceral again, about dolls, and because everybody has them, and here I am sitting in a room where I've got my wall of horror over here and up here, and it's all Jasons and Freddys and everything else, but they're fake, they're pretend, and I know they're dolls, and I Mary Alice just and The Conjuring. So Annabelle is a real doll.
Mhm.
And it was really in the shop that with the Warrens, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of creepy shit that
Yeah.
happens with that doll. And again, it's a real doll. So I'll be in antique shops. I work in telecom, so I'm in people's businesses all the time. And I go into these antique shops and I see dolls and I'm like, nope, that's a big bag of nope. I don't even
That's
want to
me
look at it.
too.
I know dolls creep me out too, especially the porcelain ones. I don't know what it is. I want to learn more about like the psychology about it, but like my gut wants to say like maybe it's because humans recognize that it's like a human face, but it's one
Sure.
that they can't quite read. Like maybe they don't know what to expect out of it, or also just because of all the horror movies and like ghosts possessing
Well,
them and everything.
and yeah, true. Now think about it though. What scares you more, a hockey mask or an all white plain mask?
Probably depends on the context. If like
Both.
one's chasing after me versus the other. But
Those plain white masks that people wear, and I don't even know what they're called, but they just, not like a Michael Myers mask, but just like those plain white porcelain doll type masks that people put on.
kind of
Those
like the
things are-
purge masks.
Yeah, sort of. Yes.
I think I know what you're talking about.
They're just creepy.
They are.
And it's because like a hockey mask doesn't have a lifelike thing behind it. And it's, when you look at the Michael Myers mask, that's why they called it The Shape, because it looked, and it was William Shatner's face. But they painted it all white and it made it creepy as hell. Otherwise, it's just William Shatner. He's not creepy. There's nothing creepy about Captain Kirk. But it's there's some definite psychology behind that. When I was a kid, clowns always scared the hell out of me, and not like Bozo the Clown. It wasn't like that. My dad in my grandfather's house, he had the upstairs bedroom, which led to a full walk around attic. And it was an old, not Victorian, but sort of Victorian style house without the spires. And he had this purple cone-headed doll, like it was all dressed in purple, and like the French clowns, and they have those weird pointy hats like that. Oh,
I think so.
and he had it sitting like right by the attic, and he knew that I was scared of it, but he figured that would keep me from going up in the attic. And the one night I took the doll, I put it outside the room, I went to sleep. I woke up and it was like early in the morning, and I said, okay, everybody's still asleep, I'm going up in the attic. And I looked over, the doll was not there. I opened the door to the attic, and there's the damn doll on the stairs. And it's like, I really hope, my dad says he doesn't remember, so maybe it was my grandfather, but that doll somehow ended up on the stairs. And I was like, nope, I'm never going to go up in there ever. And then when my grandfather moved out of that house, we had to clean out the attic. So he was like, okay, you got, you and a couple of my friends, you can go up in the attic and get this, that, and the other. And I was like, nope. I said, I'm okay. I still don't know what happened to that doll. In my head, it's not dead. It's going to just pop up somewhere in the final scene of my life.
Yeah.
And, scare the hell out of me. So back to Mary Alice. Mary Alice Chapter 1 is in a film festival now, correct? Or is it in more than one, or is it just the one?
So we're finalists for New York Movie Awards. It got accepted for New Jersey HorrorCon. So we have to attend New Jersey HorrorCon because we were selected to potentially get an award. I'm not sure how they work, but it'll be shown there. And then we're waiting on 2 more to get back to us. Because of the virus, things got pushed back to like now. So what would have been last year is now this year.
So the New York one is coming up soon.
That one's done.
Oh, that one's done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were a finalist. We didn't get selected, so we were one of the finalists.
Okay.
Yes. Selected for New Jersey HorrorCon in September.
So our film will be played at their film festival, and then they give the awards out at the end.
Yes.
When's the HorrorCon?
September.
September.
Sometime in September.
You know where it is?
The same place as it was last year.
Usually they have it in the Showboat Hotel.
Yeah.
In New Jersey.
It's in Atlantic City.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's in Atlantic City. I think the director that I work with a lot, Ryan, I think that his last movie, the one that I wasn't in, I think that was a finalist, and then that was played, which is a really, really, really cool thing. And I'm getting ready to hopefully, as long as the schedule works out, work with him on another film, which is in pre-production right now. I've read the script. I love the part that I have. So fingers crossed. His movies keep getting better and better and better and better, which is usually what you hope for.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Right. That way you can go back and look at yourself 20 years ago and go, what the hell was that about?
I know we definitely look back at some of our older stuff and we're like, at least we're improving.
It makes you who you are. I look back at something even like Star Wars, like the original one, and I'm like, those special effects are horrendous. No wonder George Lucas went back and redid so many things. Darth Vader still looks like he has Legos on his chest, but the ability of the creator, as well as the technology that's there at the time, obviously that makes movies what they are. You go back and watch a horror movie like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it was so simple and the special effects weren't great, but that movie still, again, that's those are real people in like real situations. So it's a much scarier film, which is why Mary Alice is scary. The doll could just sit there and do nothing, and it would be like just one shot on the doll and nope. I mean, I'm gonna have nightmares.
That's good for us. That's kind of what we were going for, because we didn't want to do like a typical like slasher jump scare thing. We wanted to do something that like leaves you unsettled and just like not knowing how you feel.
We'll be like, why am I unsettled?
Could be the doll, could be what else is going on.
Yeah.
Like if you walk out of that movie theater and go to the bathroom and you have to sit there and like look behind the door to see if anything is there, or look under the stall, when you're in the stall to make sure that nothing's there, that's when you've done your job, and a movie scares the hell out of you.
We know we like the more subtle type because we want to get like under your skin, and we don't want you to realize till you get home and sit down and you're like, wait. Yeah,
there's something about thriller horror versus slasher horror that is is so much better. And I think in any type of horror, I think the more real it is, the scarier it becomes.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, like Halloween, even, you know, it was originally called the Babysitter Murders. And, you know, if you were a babysitter during that time, or a child being babysat, you know, here's this man that could come get you for no other reason than he just wants to kill you. And yes, slasher, but still, you know, the music, the shots, everything made it what it was. In going through a lot of your stuff, I love the way you actually do film certain shots. You know, I think that shows something that a lot of people your age especially don't, and I'm not knocking your age, but a lot of people your age don't really get that. You know, there's you can have the person figure out the story, or you can tell the story, or you can do a combination of both. And I think you need a combination of both, and you do that with the way that you film. So kudos to you again.
Thank you.
That does mean a lot, because that's what we try to go for.
We're like, just pay, because people are like, I'm confused. I'm like, pay attention.
Right.
Look at it.
Look at the
Don't
details.
watch it. Look at it.
Well, no, because
Well,
you
yeah,
know,
I'll watch it, but
Well,
Not
you know what I mean. Deeper.
not so much in a movie theater, but at home when people are watching something on TV or YouTube or TikTok or whatever, you know, well, not TikTok because you need your phone to do that, but watching a movie on TV at home, or television, just in general, television shows, people sitting there with their phones, and then they look up, and then they look up.
Mhm.
And somehow people still understand what happened in the whole entire show, which I don't get. And I'm guilty of it sometimes, but you know, if you do that when you watch something like you've created, it makes it that much harder to like figure out what the hell's going on, because you'll hear voices. But you guys, imagery.
Mhm.
Mary Alice is a perfect example of the imagery. And then, you know, acting ability. Ashley, kudos.
thank you. Very amateur.
So I didn't get into acting until I was, let's see, I've been back in Jersey 8 years. So in my mid to late 30s, I sang. That's pretty much what I did. But I never really acted. And getting into that, same way, I felt the same way as you do. I still feel that way sometimes, you know, like I'm like, no, I watched the first movie that I did with Ryan come out, and I had this ridiculous Southern accent. And I was like, oh my God, that's horrendous. Everybody loved it, but it was horrendous. The second one that I did with him was much better. So I've watched myself come up as an actor on film and definitely on stage. But stage is so much harder than film, believe it or not.
It is. I did a couple years of drama club, like back in middle school, high school, and it just takes a whole nother like level of involvement and memorization.
Well, what was funny when I did Girl in the Cornfield 2, you have your script, and I knew most of my lines, but I always get stage fright. So I looked at my script, put it down. I ran into the cornfield. I had to burst out of the corn and say, you know, have you seen my daughter? I couldn't get words out. So I ran out of the cornfield and I was like, and that was it. Nothing happened. So, but the best thing about that is I can pick up the script again. I can look at it. I can be like, okay, if you do that on stage, you're completely naked. You're done. It's over. And, you know, people are going to laugh at you. On film, they have no idea that it took you an hour and a half of takes to do what you just did.
Yeah, that's the nice part about film.
I always I will like always be like, Ashley, I will tell you if you're mad. I will keep pushing you until I get what I want. I'm like, so don't worry. She's like, it was so, I'm like, don't worry. If it was bad, I wouldn't take it. I would not take it.
She's a tough director.
Oh yeah, she'll tell me straight up, which I mean is good. I'm just like, don't show. If you want me to do something a different way, let me know so I can adjust.
I only do that with her because that's what she wants specifically. Because with like Madison and Nicole, you know, or Ren and Parker, I did it a bit differently with them. I was like, how do you take direction? I'm like, how do you want me to give it to you?
And also just because we're such close friends, she can bully me as she pleases.
I'll just like look at her face and be like, that was an awful face. Try again.
I showed my buddy a clip on Amazon Prime from the last movie that I did with Ryan, and it was this shot of me running up to this door to warn the girl, or actually to ask the girl if she had seen my wife. And I'm sitting there and he's like, why are you running like a 90-year-old man? And I'm like, dude, I said, look at my feet. So then I rewound the clip, I put it on again, and he looked at my feet. He goes, oh, you're wearing sliders. I said, yeah. I said, and it had snowed the night before. So the ground was completely slick. I'm running back and forth. You know, we did that shot like 25 times, it seemed like. And my feet, I had to kind of, you know, grip the sliders with my toes and then try to run that way so I wouldn't fall flat on my face. And I was being a smartass to Brianna Engel. She was the actress that was playing opposite me in that scene. And I kept blowing up the scene on purpose. Like, she'd open the door and I'd be like, I'm here to talk to you about Jesus Christ. Nothing related to anything that we were doing. And I kept blowing up the scene, and Ryan was about to kill me. But yeah, running back and forth. And it's these things that when you look at them, it's funny as the actor, people don't get what you were doing or going through in that moment. Anytime I see myself on video at all, I sit there and go, what was I thinking at that point? You know, or what was I doing at that point? And I think it's a really neat thing to do. So you guys live in New Hampshire, which is one of the best canvases ever to like work on. The picturesque part, the picturesqueness, if that's what you want to call it, was just incredible. And it's so neat to be able, like, I live in Sussex County, New Jersey. We're in the northwest corner. Everybody thinks of New Jersey, they think of smokestacks and, you know, highways and whatever. And I live basically in the woods. I mean, you've been out here, not so far away from where I live, which is where Camp Blood was. And you got to see, you know, a different part of New Jersey that probably reminded you more of back home than it would your stereotypical thoughts of New Jersey. But going up there and being in the same area, because we went to Portland, I really wanted in Maine. I also really wanted to go to Bangor, and because my idol is from there, Stephen King. So, but it was like an hour and a half each way, and we were like, damn it. But being in New England and seeing the canvas with which Stephen King had to work on, I would guess as a filmmaker, it's very cool to have all of those. They're tools. I mean, they really are at your disposal. The nature, the wildlife, you know, being able to recreate these things, because New Hampshire has a lot of rich history. There's a lot of old buildings, old farmhouses, you know, that are still kind of just there. There was an old playhouse that was one of the first playhouses in the country, that did summer theater up there. And we passed it on the way back, and like I slammed on the brakes, I made a U-turn, and I went back just to take pictures and see this place. And when I see old places like that, all I think of is like haunted stuff and ghosts and paranormal activity. And you know, I mean, we walked into that house at Camp Blood, which we weren't really allowed to do, but everybody was leaving. And that was a creepy place. I mean, it was just, you know, it was very weird. And I had talked to, oh goodness, I can't even remember her name, but I had talked to the lady afterwards, and she's like, oh yeah, she goes, you know, that was all like condemned and whatnot and blah blah. And you know, that place has been around since like the early 1900s, and like you just know that there's something creepy there. You know, it's that vibe that you get. And I think you guys took a lot of pictures in there as well.
Well, yeah, I have a ton of pictures. I took.
Did you even go in the house?
Yes, I did go in the house.
Yeah, she was there.
That you didn't go in. I couldn't remember. There's like one area you wouldn't go upstairs. Upstairs.
I took pictures of you. At the house.
I know you did. But...
For my school project, I took pictures of her.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. I do remember that. But you didn't. There was an area where you didn't go, Michaela. I don't remember where that was.
Yeah, so I'm not crazy,
but I did go in.
Because I went all the way.
To the basement.
I went all the way upstairs. That's right. Yeah, I don't think you did go to the basement.
Yeah, I think that was the only place I didn't go.
There was like a hole in the floor. Like there was a lot of crazy crap going on there.
Yeah, there was so much stuff. It was so cool. I love exploring like abandoned places. I wish there were more around here.
Oh,
to
we'd go to
through.
jail if they caught us at abandoned places.
Yeah,
here.
that's the thing.
Oh, really? Is that
Yeah,
like
they
Probably.
patrol.
There's a lot of like
And
no
charge you money.
trespassing signs and like the kind of the hidden places. So it's like I want to do like a lot of urban exploring, but I just don't know many areas around here where you could go without worry
A
about
lot
like
of New Hampshire old sites, they charge you money.
I want to
'Cause
visit
they
the old
know.
asylum and
Yeah.
Concord.
we have a ton of places. In fact, we have a whole cottage industry of, hold on, I'm going to show you. If you ever get the chance to look at, hopefully you'll be able to see it.
Ooh, that looks interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this magazine comes out twice a month, or twice a year, April and October. I'll send you some links. It shows you every cool place to go in New Jersey.
That's
And
Nice.
it's for people that aren't watching, it's called Weird New Jersey. Most of my New Jersey people definitely have heard about Weird New Jersey. And a lot of people do get in trouble because there's a lot of like asylum type stuff, hospital type stuff, a lot of abandoned buildings in especially in central New Jersey. Up here, it's more abandoned farmhouses and things like that. I don't like to go in those because they're made out of wood. So things that are made out of wood tend to fall apart when you step on them.
Yes.
Concrete usually is a little more forgiving. You could jump and you could do whatever you need to. But we have the Eastern State Penitentiary, that's in PA actually.
I want to visit there someday.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Obviously, we have Camp Nabi Bosco, which is where Friday the 13th, the first one, was filmed. Which, I mean, that's creepy in and of itself, but it's not like asylum creepy. You know, being in a place where there are still like abandoned medical carts and, you know, I was in a dentist's garage that was closing down this one area, and he had an old dental chair in the garage, and I don't like dentists to begin with, and that just creeped me the fuck out. I was just like, that was it. I was done. I'm like, yeah, you know what? You want a phone line run through here? Just do it yourself. It's all good. Here's a big length of cable. I do not want to be in this room with that chair. Nope. The only thing that would have made it worse if Mary Alice was going in for, you know, some dental work, that would have made it even more horrible.
Yeah, because we got like the accessories that Ashley wore were actually antique, or like people actually wore because
Yes.
vintage antique. And I remember when we first got them, I didn't want to bring them home. So Ashley got to bring them home and test them out. I'm like, if anything happens, they can stay there. If not, they can come back to my house and we can hang out. We got some stuff here now, but especially the cape that she had.
Right.
Is actually like
That's from like the 1930s,
30s,
1930s or 40s.
and we just have it on a mannequin always because it's not allowed to be on anything else because it will fall apart at the
Very
seams.
delicate material.
We used to have them in our dorm room too, on the mannequin in the
Right.
corner. That was scary enough. So
really freaked out a lot of like people. At one point, we like allowed our room to be
shown
for like incoming students or people who wanted to tour the building. We probably got a lot of confused
Yeah.
people just seeing a
and for
mannequin.
Halloween, we even put Mary Lou on the stairs with a bucket of candy on her lap and just kept her door open and kept our lights off, and then we hunkered down and people would walk by and be like, oh my god,
What the hell is wrong with you?
They'd be like, I dare you to go get candy, and they'd be like, no way.
I'd be like, I'm taking all the candy, first shot, and I'm running. That's it. Just all the candy is mine, and nobody else can get candy because no one else needs to be around this doll. But the thing about antique type stuff is that, like when you say that this cloak was worn in like the 1930s and 1940s, the first thing that my mind goes to is, well, someone that wore that is dead.
Yep.
And
That's the thing.
are
Yeah.
they haunting this thing?
That's why
it got
made-
sent to my house.
Yeah, like
She
her
didn't want anything
necklace,
with it.
her ring, her gloves sent to Ashley's house until it was clear that
Yeah.
nothing was haunted. And then as soon as it was all clear, it came here.
And it's funny because a lot of people will have their stuff like blessed by, you know, a Catholic priest or, you know, someone of their faith or whatever, just to cleanse it. And I mean, I don't believe in really any of that anyway. But I do believe in ghosts. So there's that kind of stuff is really, really, really creepy. And if you're making a horror type film and you have that authentic, you know, stuff, I think that makes it even better. especially the things with like the long gloves that the theater people used to wear all the
Mhm.
time. I work in a lot of theaters that are older. The one theater that I perform in a lot used to be a movie theater that was converted into a regular stage theater. And our stage is actually where it is was where the movie screen once hung, and the seating is all what the balcony seating was. So I've tried to find, it used to be called the Colonial Theater. I've tried to find some older pictures of it, to see what exactly it looked like. But people have stories about that. I don't like being in there at night by myself. The other theater that I work at with the same company is right down the road, and that's called the Studio Studio 237, and that used to be a church. And that's creepy as hell if you're there by yourself at night. I mean, it's all creepy.
It is all very creepy.
But I do think that that's one of the best things in life, is kind of being scared a little bit. I mean, I don't want to be like possessed or any of that stuff, but
Just something to get the blood pumping once in a while.
Yeah, I wish.
exactly.
It's cardio without the running.
I'm like, I will die.
That's true. That's true. And now that we live in an age of, fitness trackers and everything else, when we watch something scary or we are scared, like I remember at Camp Blood running around, and, even in the moments where I wasn't running, like my heart rate never dropped below like 140. I mean, like it stayed up that way the entire time. Even when I was playing somebody, it was the same exact way. And so as long as you don't have a weak heart, as long as you're,
Yeah,
as long
because
as you're, go ahead.
we actually worked at Spooky World, so we were scaring people.
That's an outdoor like horror haunted attraction around here.
And
It's a local
apparently
place.
It was haunted. So not only are we in complete black, like it's just you can't even see. They're like, oh, there's a ghost that comes here, and sometimes she likes to sit and just talk to you, and I'm like, no.
I'd
So
be
I would
like,
just be like
what do
this
you
the
think
whole
her
time.
name is, or what do you think her story is? And she'd be like, shut up, Ashley, shut up.
I'm like, if you
Say
talk about it,
anything.
it's gonna happen. So I just, because like she always comes in this area, so I was always like, I'm not looking. If I don't look, she's not there.
And I'm just like, well, I don't have my glasses on because I have to run and wear a mask, so I'm not going to be able to see it if she is there.
So you guys are 23.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So that would make you born in 1997 or 1998, depending on when you turn 24.
97.
97
Okay.
for both of us.
We're a week apart.
Okay. So I'm going to give you a Spooky World story. So
Ooh.
Spooky World used to be in Berlin, Massachusetts.
Yes.
And then it moved to like Gillette or something like that. Like it moved and then it
Something
moved
like
again.
that. Yeah, it moved
Yeah.
a couple of times.
So
And now it's in Litchfield.
okay. And that's in New Hampshire?
Hampshire.
Okay. Okay. So they had this in Berlin, Massachusetts, which was a little town in the middle of God nowhere. I mean, like it was just in the pitch black woods. That was it. And all of a sudden it just opened up and it was Spooky World. So myself and a couple of friends went. And there was the haunted area where you would go in, like the haunted house, so to speak. And everything was fine. When I'm with a group of people, it tends not to scare me as much, because I can grab onto somebody or whatever. But we had rounded a corner and there was Raggedy Ann, girl, sitting there in this corner rocking. And you could see that the next room had no lights at all, just zero lights. That was it. And she's just sitting there back and forth rocking, going, "You're gonna die." And I was like, my friend Tony, he started to push me towards the door. And I'm like, ain't happening, dude. I said, you're going in first, or somebody else is going in first. So like I stood there and I was shaking like uncontrollably. In my head, I know it's fake, but there was still part of me that was like, I'm going to walk into this thing and fall into some black abyss. But Spooky World I met Kane Hodder, who played Jason in the later Friday the 13th. I met him. But it was I forget how many hour drive from here to get up there. But it was so worth it. It was such a good time. And like I said, I knew that they had moved because I wanted to go up there with more friends years and years and years later. But I heard that they were like, it was completely different when it moved to Gillette, or if that's the town, or it's like right outside of Boston where the stadium is. And I was like, I liked it better when it was in Berlin. But if you're saying it's that good in Litchfield, I might have to venture up there with a couple friends and try that again. Yeah, that was
Well, yeah, because it's actually haunted by real ghosts, not just by people.
Apparently, we didn't meet any ghosts.
And I'm real pleased that I did not.
Now, have either of you had any in your entire life, any ghost-like experiences?
Kind of.
Yeah, sure.
Not like super, only mild ones. One can probably be debunked. One time, it was when I was younger, I was in my backyard. I was out playing with my brother, and I thought he ran like between our house and garage. So I went to sneak around to the other side, and he never came out. So I was just out waiting for him. He never came because I had seen like a dark shadow like go by. So I went in and I was like, when did you come in? My mom was like, he's been in here for a while. So I feel like that was probably just a car going by, though.
It could be.
Because I live on a busy road. But there's that. And then I used to frequent, like, go to church when I was younger. And we had, like, our scout meetings in the church. It was where my family would, like, gather and whatnot. So we were there a lot. And it's like a 300-year-old church. It's one of the first ones in New Hampshire. So pretty old, lots of ghost stories. One time I was there with my aunt and my cousin. My aunt is our Girl Scout leader. We were in there in a room separating like cookies for distributions, and we just heard footsteps in the hallway outside the door, but there was nobody else there. And we even went to like look in the parking lot. Nobody's there. So we were like, Eddie's just walking around. See, there's some part of me where it's like, because I haven't had like a lot of like that's a ghost like experience, there's some part of me that's like skeptical, but others that's not. But it's like stuff that happens like that, it's like that's just way too coincidental. So I'm sure there's other beings out there.
Yeah, because we used to live on a place. So the street was called Shattuck Place, like Shattuck Street.
Okay.
So I feel like that's just enough to say, oh, this is a creepy street. We actually have the house photos from Shattuck Street from the 1800s. That is what Mary Alice is based off of.
Okay.
And they have the legit handwriting and typewriting still on them from the people that used
to go grab it.
that used to be that used to live there, and they're like in all the garb, like stuff that Lizzie Borden wore. And I was much younger. I was like elementary school, and that we had a basement. My dad had the door open and he was yelling down there, and he thought he was yelling at me, but I was behind him.
Oh, Jesus.
So there was a ghost that looked enough like me for my dad to yell at me to come out from the basement.
Oh, wow.
So he was saying, come upstairs, you shouldn't be down there. And I'm like, I'm right here. And I was behind him.
Here's some photos. I don't know what the camera will be able to see.
Oh, wow.
But these are all authentic, like 1800s photos.
Yep. It's like Aunt Lizzie, Aunt Emma. And if you turn it around, like she posed for 15 minutes while taking this photo and she got real tired, is like what the back says. And,
oh, wow. That's really, really cool.
And that came from the old house that we used to live in that was haunted. My mom's like, yeah, I used to wrap presents in the dark up in the attic. I definitely felt some kid presents, but I wasn't threatened. And I was like, Mom,
why would you just wrap presents in the dark in the attic? That's just weird to begin with.
And I love that it's Aunt Lizzie.
Yeah. It's like, I think it's Lizzie and Emma.
Oh, wow.
Live there.
Something like
that. Yeah.
See, those are old creepy names. Like ghosts should be named Lizzie and Emma. Yeah, definitely. But I think that there's like energy. So we're all made up of electricity, really. I mean, our bodies are basically electric beings. And when we die, that energy has to go somewhere. And I think that's the kind of thing that I believe in. So I don't know that a ghost is going to go, woo, and like grab you. I don't know that I believe in that. But definitely, they say there's been scientists that have said that if we could figure out a way, because wood will absorb sound, and if we could figure out a way to take a tree and tap the sounds that are in it, like we could hear conversations that happened literally hundreds of years ago. And I think that's so cool, because obviously, matter goes somewhere, and it goes somewhere until it's taken in by something else. So, we probably live in a world where there's all this weird shit flying around all of us, and every once in a while we catch a glimpse of it. And I think that's the kind of thing that we see. I don't know that I believe in like the purgatory thing and, you know, souls doomed to wander the earth and, you know, blah, 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 but it still scares the hell out of us. So, you know, that's a good thing. And it's how you girls hope to, you know, continue making money and things like that, because people need to at least have some kind of belief in this stuff, in order for it to thrive. And I think that's what makes horror thrive too, is that people,
sure.
you know, they can put themselves in those situations.
Somewhat based in reality.
Yeah, you need that. I mean, yes, is it nice to watch like a Star Wars or a Marvel or whatever and see something, you know, really like far out? Yes, absolutely. You know, it's not going to happen. There aren't people that are green and grow big and, you know, attack you. I guess there's some of it that's rooted in reality, but I still have never seen a, you know, 10-foot tall green guy with big arms, you know, that when he gets angry, that's what he turns into. I've never seen that. So, and I don't think I'm going to. But so what is going on in the future? Where are you girls headed?
Well, I know in the future, I want Deblias to be like Disney type of empire. Because I wanna
You want to own the entire
I want
world.
to I want to own everything. No,
Hell yeah.
I want to change film for the better. I want to make them more like diverse and just, you know, more equal pay, and I just want to make different things because right now, based on what I've seen, it's just a lot of repetition, right? There's nothing new.
Sure.
Things that like leave an impact, like,
Yes.
because I feel like a lot of movies, like some are really good, but there's a lot that are kind of more just very surface level.
Sure.
Where it's like I feel like we need to put like a lot more like meaning behind, like back into movie and like stories and storytelling.
I just want to be able to, I don't know, I just want to make a little bit of a difference. Like if I can have something like Disney, then I can give people internships, or I can pay off people's college things, or I can just help other people that are like us
Sure.
because right now film is all about connection. And I kind of want to break that. So like if someone's like our age and just realizes they want to join this world, I want them to be able to go to a place that, you know, can help build them up, see if that's something they want to do. Because I'm sick of all like, oh, you got to know somebody
Sure.
to
Yeah.
get you there. I'm sick of that. I really
have your
am.
hard work mean something.
I want people to see your thing and, you know, actually get credit for it, because there's also a lot of stealing.
Yeah.
And I just want to build something kinder, I guess, more a huge community in the future. But for the immediate future, we at least want Mary Alice to be a full film. And we're waiting on film festivals. So if we can get some awards and stuff, people can see that Mary Alice is more serious. And then we can start taking the steps to make it a full film, because we'll have some, you know, credentials for it.
Are you going to do crowdsourcing again?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Our hope is that we can get like, I don't know, Amazon or Netflix or something to kind of take it on. We want to go big. We want to go big.
Go big or go home.
Go big or go home. But we just want to make a little difference, make a splash, try to do what we do best, put more women in the front.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And again, you know, it's a tough road. You know, you guys have been pushing since I've known you for the past couple of years. And I've watched the dedication, the commitment that you guys have to your craft, to your friends, to your family, and just to each other. I mean, and I think that's the biggest thing is partnerships. You know, partnerships are tough. Gina and I just launched Dockside Productions to do our own thing, because while we love doing things with other theater companies and things like that, and, you know, film companies, I love working with Shady Dawn and Ryan. But, you know, I'm a creator at heart myself. So writing is my passion, and just creating in general is my passion. So being able to put those things on the screen myself with Gina, working together to do something different not just a theater company, but a film company and an event company. You know, you're literally half my age. So when you get to my age, I wish that I had the drive and the determination that I've seen you ladies work with, you know, over the past couple of years. I wish I had that when I was your age, because it would probably have led me on a completely different path than where I ended up. Not that I regret anything that I did, but watching this younger generation kind of, you know, just take the baton and just run with it. You know, I'm sitting here, and the reason that, you know, we started our own thing was because I also have to look at, you know, 20 years from now, I'll be in my 60s and worried about, you know, what am I going to do when I retire? You know, will there be a stream of income? I mean, this is the world that we live in. You know, yeah, it's nice to have fun and laugh and joke and everything else, but holy crap, you know, in 23 years for you girls, when you're sitting there, you know, on my side of the table going, oh my God, Rob was right. You know, but you guys have that plan, which is wonderful. And, you know, two not, well, technically childhood friends, because seniors in high school are still children. But two people that have stuck it through, went to school, went through college and busted their asses to get, you know, even the small level of success, which, you know, you guys have had even more than that. You know, you got a taste and then you got even more. It's just, it's inspirational. I think people that are looking to get into the industry from a young age really need to look at people like you, especially those little girls that are out there and saying, oh, I like, you know, writing stories and, you know, all that stuff. And it doesn't even, forget about horror, you know, it's the rock and horror pop cast show, pop meaning pop culture. And all those movies that are behind me are mixes of comedy and music and, you know, all that stuff. And so it doesn't even matter if you love to create, just create. And, you know, it will take you places, because I think that especially writing is one of the most freeing experiences you can have. For me, it really saved my life more than anything else. And again, it's all about creation. It's all about, you know, bringing other people to a different place, you know, and letting them run wild. But yeah, you guys are very, very, very inspirational, and I'm proud of you guys. I've told you that before. I mean, really, like seriously. And if you can creep me out, then you know, then you've done something right. But yeah.
To us, I guess we just have to go, there's no other option. It's this option or nothing else.
Right.
Because we even have, like, you might hear my dog howling.
No, I don't. Maybe I do. Maybe I do.
Like, okay, I'm like, oh, if plan A doesn't work, then maybe plan B. And like plan B is like, okay, we're gonna write a book. We're gonna make it so good that someone's gonna want to turn a TV show. And then our stipulation is we have to be there. And then we'll do that. And then we'll keep climbing. And then we'll keep climbing.
Right.
So we also just have a lot of projects going on all the time anyways, because we have been working on this book for a while, slowly coming to an end with it. Hopefully we can get that published soon. Then just like doing all of our YouTube shorts basically is like practice, getting like our toes in the water, like figuring out what, I guess, like, I don't know how you put it, just kind of like,
how does it work?
Yeah,
we're figuring out. So like our you are one, how does it work if you are the character, right? So we tried that. We're like, okay, we'll see where that goes. Like we tried this one that we gave you a sneak peek of. Okay, we'll try it, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, the music video was great. I really, really like that. Now you use a gray screen. Is that what you were using behind you for the chroma key?
It was a green screen, and then I keyed it.
Oh, you keyed it gray.
Yes, I put a background behind it that was great. It's a lot better now, so just wait till you see the final. The one that you saw, awful, trash it.
No, it wasn't
it's
awful.
A lot better. It's a
I
lot
just saw it
now.
yesterday.
It's a lot better
the
now.
day before.
I fixed a lot since then.
I love what you guys are just like me. You're like self-deprecating. You're like, oh, this freaking sucked. It was horrible. Don't watch it. Burn it. But no, if you don't watch it, you don't learn from it. Oh, there's somebody in the backyard, because I just got emotion alert in the backyard. There's somebody in the backyard.
Oh, no, it's coming. Mary Lou's coming.
Don't say that. Don't say that. But are you done? Do you hear him?
Yeah,
we can hear the little
it's,
wolves.
yeah, it's like what happens when we try to do our own podcast.
They come in, drool in our faces, bark.
It's not like even a ferocious bark. It's just a Riley pup. I don't know what he sees outside, but anyway. But ladies, I want to thank you so much for being here tonight. It was great talking to you. It's great, again, seeing what you're accomplishing, what you have accomplished, what's coming up, what's going forward. I will make sure that I put in links to everything that I can in the comments below. You know, and like, subscribe, follow them, like, subscribe, follow us, and you know, we'll continue to support you. You know, I've been one of your biggest fans for the past couple of years, and I will continue to be a big fan. So I'm looking forward to everything that you guys got
It means a lot.
coming out. We're trying to help you guys too. So
we remember everybody that's helping us now. We have
That's right.
plans.
I expect a job. I can like mop or something, you know, because it'll be a woman-run company, and you know the guys have to be put down in their place. So you know, hey, I'll clean garbage cans for Deblias Sisters Productions.
I have a list. I'm like, okay, so Lisa's a big supporter. She can just come to the red carpets. Like, we can just put her in the film. But nice. In my head, mentally, I know everyone that has supported us, and I want to do something for them whenever I get there. Be like, whether you're an extra background, I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna get you somehow involved just a little bit.
Well, the best thing about, you know, the small community that we seem to have, you know, between the friends, people that we've met, you know, at Camp Blood or whatever, just in general in life, and this smaller, tight-knit group of, I'm going to say, indie filmmakers and indie writers, indie musicians, even, we come together when we need each other most, and the support network that we've created is incredible. And when we go forward, if we go forward, and I think we all will, but those are the people that we lean on in the toughest times, in the darkest times, and they push us forward, because everybody feels like quitting, you know, at one time or another. There's that moment where you're like, what the hell am I doing, man? You know, it'd be so much easier to go to a normal 9 to 5 and just be a normal guy. And that's what I do during the day anyway, because it's where I started.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, you guys have this, and you guys have jobs. Do you both work at the same place, right?
Correct.
Okay. So, you know, you guys do the same thing. You know, you go and you get that green, because the green helps you put into other things that eventually will make more green. But yeah, again, thank you so much, Ashley, Makalya, for being on here. Again,
Thank you.
they are from Deblias Sisters Production. Let me do that again. They are from Deblias Sisters Productions out of New Hampshire, soon to be worldwide, bigger than Disney. That's the thing that I want to take away from this. Bigger
I want to
than
own
Disney.
everything. No,
That's it. We're going to own the world.
I'm going to run it
You're
all.
gonna be the new Amazon.
I'm going to own all the TV channels.
And see, look at Deblias and
Monopoly.
Dockside. Just saying. Just saying. Deblias Sisters Productions in partnership with Dockside Productions Incorporated.
Yes, we'll take it.
We'll just rule the world. The hell with everybody else.
Yeah, but like we'll tell everyone what to make.
We're taking down the mouse and Darth Vader.
Yeah. The world is ours.
That's it. It's our oyster. All right, guys. Thank you so much, everybody out there. Thank you for listening and watching. Please don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. And as usual, I will see you all later, and I am out. Good night, everybody.